This is the Weekly Roundup on EAC News Channel, your look back at the past week in the Kingdom of Wonder. A very good evening, I'm Darshana Gauchan. Prime Minister Hun Sen has warned to remove officials from district and provincial offices, as well as the police and military, if they fail to crack down on illegal gambling in their territory. In a special audio message released on Saturday morning, Prime Minister Hun Sen stated that the royal government has decided to establish a national working group to crack down on illegal gambling in Cambodia, a job, he said, which should not be handled on a national level because the government has already designated the subnational level to manage such tasks. Therefore, he said that with the establishment of this new national working group, district and provincial governors must also work to conduct their own crackdowns, while the national working group also has the role of investigating certain officials who are suspected to be involved in the establishment of illegal gambling in their respective districts. The Prime Minister warned that he will remove officials who lack the ability to crack down on illegal gambling activity in their area.
ដើម្បីនឹងធ្វើកិច្ចការងារនេះមុនពេលដែលក្រុមការងារចុះទៅដល់បញ្ហាស្ថិតនៅត្រង់ថាអស់លោកធ្វើឬមិនធ្វើហើយសូមបញ្ជាក់សារជាថ្មីថាខ្ញុំមិនញញើតដៃជាមួយនឹងការដកចោលចេញពីមុខតំណែងជាមួយអភិបាលខេត្តឬអភិបាលរងឬអភិបាលស្រុកឬក៏ឋានៈនាយទាហាននគរបាលអាវុធហត្ថចាប់ពីស័ក្តិ5ឡើងលើខ្ញុំនឹងចេញអនុក្រឹត្យដើម្បីបញ្ចប់ភារកិច្ចចោលតែម្ដង
The Prime Minister said that he understands that illegal gambling is taking place at the local level, which is something that all officials already know, and it is more so a matter of whether local officials are willing to crack down on this activity or not. He also raised the question of whether those places are for officials to make money. It should be noted that on Friday, 16th September, Prime Minister Hun Sen signed on to the establishment of a national working group to crack down on illegal gambling, led by Secretary of State Sok Pal from the Ministry of Interior. This working group will be responsible for planning measures and guidelines for competent authorities at all levels to implement and crack down on all forms of illegal gambling, in collaboration with authorities at the national and subnational levels to conduct research and take action against illegal gambling sites in the country. In addition, measures are also being taken to investigate and crack down on cases of human trafficking, labor trafficking, sex trafficking, money laundering, and other crimes committed at illegal gambling sites, in accordance with the laws in force. Sihanouk provincial authorities have announced that they have found a total of 495 foreigners who have committed at least 6 different offenses after inspecting Xing Shan Ting Center from 13th to 17th September in Sihanoukville. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the story.
The Sihanouk Provincial Administration announced on Sunday that 495 foreigners holding 4 different nationalities were arrested. This includes 51 women and 141 illegal immigrants who are already been deported. 130 of them who are Chinese, 11 are Vietnamese. In addition, 262 foreigners were found to be working without work permits, for which authorities collected fines worth of 131 million real, with approximately $32,200 and additional $78,840. The provincial administration added the Department of Labour also issued a fine of 6,720,000 real, or roughly $1,650, to the enterprises that employed illegal immigrants. During the 5-day operation, the provincial coalition forces identified offences such as illegal gambling, illegal detention and torture, illegal possession of weapons, and prostitution and human trafficking, for which 27 foreigners were arrested, including 12 suspects, 5 victims, and 10 sex workers. Additionally, authorities confiscated 4 small firearms, 8,776 mobile phones, 804 desktop computers, and 16 laptops, 36 passports, 12 storage devices, 4 pairs of handcuffs, 8 electric buttons, 2 flashlights, as well as some documents and money. The Xing Shan Ting Center, also known as Shangcheng, is located in Lot 27, Village 3, Sunkrat 3, Sihanoukville, Sihanouk province. There are 3 different buildings in total, of which property which hold a total of 332 bedrooms, 267 living rooms, 51 study rooms, 11 restaurants, 1 mart, 1 fruit shop, 1 hairdresser and 1 entertainment area. The Minister of Interior, Deputy Prime Minister Saw Keng, has decided to close down operations at this centre to continue investigations into money laundering, illegal gambling and illegal possession of weapons, and also to continue the search for arrest of the ringleader. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
Since 1st September 2022, Angkor Enterprise has allowed foreigners living in Cambodia for at least 2 years to receive a free temple pass. Foreigners can apply for the pass via the Angkor ticket office or online on the spass.angkorenterprise.gov.kh website. Our own EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis received his yearly pass and will tell you more about it.
During COVID-19, Angkor Enterprise allowed foreigners to be able to apply for a yearly membership, which was roughly $100 for a year. But as from the 1st of September 2022, Angkor Enterprise have allowed any foreigners living in Cambodia for 2 years to apply for a free Angkor Wat pass. It is for free and also unlimited, but you must be living anywhere in Cambodia, not just seeing RIP to apply. I applied for mine last week, I received my phone call, and today I got to pick up my free pass. They've advised me to cut it out and then laminate it and keep it with me every time. Once again, it is unlimited, which I confirmed with the ticket office today. Anthony Ellis, EAC News, Angkor Wat, Siem Reap.
Prime Minister Hun Sen has sent a message of apology to Cambodians living in the United States and Canada for not being able to meet with them during his upcoming visit to the United States this week. The Prime Minister made a post on his Facebook page saying that the lack of a planned meeting this time is due to the very short length of his stay in New York and the many events that he will have to attend while he is there. Additionally, he had only just met with Cambodians living in the United States and Canada a few months back during his visit to Washington, D.C. in May 2022. He wrote, "I hope you understand," in his message. Prime Minister Hun Sen will be leading a Cambodian delegation to the United States on Wednesday, 21st September, to attend the 77th United Nations General Assembly in New York. Afterwards, the Prime Minister will embark on an official visit to Cuba, then travel directly to Tokyo, Japan to attend the funeral of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. The Minister of Interior, Deputy Prime Minister Saw Keng, has said that foreigners who wish to come to work in Cambodia will be required to provide and check the authenticity of their passports and work permits first to avoid fraud, and overall monitoring of foreigners entering Cambodia will be strengthened. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more details.
On Monday morning, Interior Minister Deputy Prime Minister Saw Keng informed the media the royal government will increase the proper management of checking passports and work permits of foreigners who cross the border into Cambodia for work to avoid various scams. He said, "We need to strengthen control of foreigners who come into Cambodia. They need to come with valid visa and work permit to work in the company or enterprise in Cambodia to avoid falling into various scams, fraud, torture and violence." The royal government is currently taking various measures to crack down on illegal gambling in Cambodia so that it does not lead into crimes and impact on strengthening of social justice in the country. Deputy Prime Minister Saw Keng also advised the ministry will follow procedures in accordance by the law, controlling places where illegal gambling has taken place, as well as inspecting suspected target locations. He said, "Our procedure concerns are a matter of principle and how we can rescue the victims and then punish those involved and close those illegal businesses." According to Interior Minister, the Capital Provincial Unity Command will be responsible for cracking down on cases within each respective local jurisdiction. On Sunday, the Sihanouk Provincial Administration issued a press release on the expectation of the Xing Shanting Centre, otherwise known as Chang Cheng, which saw the detainment of nearly 500 foreigners involved in illegal gambling, detention and torture. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
The Minister of National Defense, Deputy Prime Minister Thia Ban, has urged Army officers to study the military equipment provided by China and to build their skills to strengthen the Cambodian Army. EAC News reporter Decca Nin has more.
Speaking at the handover ceremony of the military equipment sent by China on Tuesday morning at the Phnom Chum Rikdi Military Police Training Center in Kampong Chenang Province, Deputy Prime Minister Thia Ban said that this military equipment will help to drive the Cambodian military to be more dynamic, efficient, and increase its potential. He said, "We could destroy enemies that are hundreds of kilometers away from us if we know how to use this equipment." More than 100 units of military equipment were provided to Cambodia by China, mostly in the form of transportation trucks and ambulances. Chinese ambassador to Cambodia Wang Wingtian said that the China-Cambodia military cooperation is an important part of both countries' destinies. He added that this military aid is necessary material for the Royal Cambodian Armed Forces, especially the Royal Cambodian Gendarmerie, and serves as an example of Sino-Cambodian cooperation. He said, "We are sincerely pleased to continuously enhance the capabilities of the Royal Cambodian Armed Forces and increase the modernization of weapons and military infrastructure to effectively protect national and regional security." The Cambodian Defense Minister further thanked the Chinese government for taking care of and providing military equipment to Cambodia. Previously, on the 1st of September 2022, the People's Republic of China also donated 150 luxury cars to the Cambodian Ministry of National Defense to assist in organizing the ASEAN Defense Ministers meeting hosted by Cambodia. Dekanin EAC News.
The Extraordinary Chambers in the Courts of Cambodia will announce its final verdict for case 002/02 against the last top leader of the Khmer Rouge, Khieu Samphan, at 9:30 a.m. on 22nd September. EAC News reporter Decca Nin has the details.
The verdict is being announced after the court held a direct hearing on the appeal from the 16th to the 19th of August 2021. Case 002/02 refers to the second trial against top Khmer Rouge leaders Khieu Samphan and Nuon Chea, with additional charges from the closing order in case 002 heard as well. In a decision announced by the ECCC on the 4th of April 2014, the following crime sites and factual allegations form the basis for case 002/02. Genocide against the Cham and the Vietnamese minorities, excluding crimes committed by the Revolutionary Army of Cambodia on Vietnamese territory, forced marriages and rape nationwide, internal purchase, the S21 Security Center, the Krain Tajan Security Center, All Consign Security Center, and Phnom Krao Security Center, the 1st January Dam work site, the Kampong Chenang Airport construction site, the Tropang Thmo Dams work site, the Tram Kok Cooperative, the treatment of Buddhists limited to Tram Kok cooperatives, and the targeted of former Khmer Republic officials limited to Tram Kok cooperatives, the 1st January Dam work site, the S21 Security Center, and the Krain Tajan Security Center. Currently, only Khieu Samphan remains alive, while the case co-defendant Nuon Chea died in August 2019. Dekanin EAC News.
Chinese citizens have been urged not to make skin-to-skin contact with recently arrived foreigners after the first case of monkeypox was registered in the southwestern Chongqing municipality last week. EAC News reporter Decca Nin has more details.
The warning was issued on Saturday by the chief epidemiologist at the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Wu Zhenyu, writing on his official Weibo page. The official said that in order to prevent possible monkeypox infection and as part of our healthy lifestyle, it is recommended that you do not have direct skin-to-skin contact or close relationships with foreigners who have recently come from overseas. He clarified recent to mean having arrived within the last 3 weeks. Wu recommended that the public avoid skin-to-skin contact with strangers and use disposable toilet seat covers as much as possible. There is still only one confirmed case of monkeypox in China. The 29-year-old Chinese salesman who contracted the virus has since been put into isolation, and the local health commission has said the risk of an outbreak is low. The patient is believed to have engaged in sex with another man while in Berlin earlier in the month, the CCDC said. He reportedly traveled to Spain before returning to Chongqing, China on the 14th of September. Questioned during a briefing on Monday on whether the advice to stop touching foreigners was considered official policy, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning said it was not a diplomatic issue but one related to science and public health. Monkeypox is similar to human smallpox, which was eradicated in 1980. Its symptoms include fever, headache, muscle aches, backaches, swollen lymph nodes, chills, exhaustion, and those afflicted develop distinctive skin lesions. According to a paper published in the New England Journal of Medicine last month, the virus overwhelmingly affects gay and bisexual men who make up 98% of patients. While the WHO is uncertain whether sexual activity is the only way to transmit the virus, the organization has noted that 95% of studied monkeypox patients have contracted it via sex with other men. Dekanin, EAC News.
Tanay Temple, located in the forest on a narrow road east of Takeo Temple and 150 meters from the South Siem Reap River, was built in the late 12th century during the reign of King Jayavarman VII and was dedicated to Mahayana Buddhism. According to the Apsara Authority, the temple is the only one which features carvings that depict the evil spirits Pride, which are central to the Pachumban festival. EAC News reporter Dekanin has more.
According to the archaeologist and director of the Apsara Authority's Research, Training and Dissemination Department, Socrates, the belief in the evil spirits, Pride, could be related to the bloody war that liberated the capital of Angkor from the Champa army. Many were killed during this war, including King Jayavarman VII's own family, and much suffering and homelessness was incurred by all. The king believed that the spirits of some of his relatives, officials, civilians, and soldiers were unable to rest peacefully and did not know where to go after death and became reborn as evil spirits known as Pride who suffer in hell. This may be the purpose of throwing bun, which are small molded rice balls during the Pchumban festival. Socrates stated that, according to the Kanrada Vyuha Mahayana Buddhist scriptures written in Kashmir, India, in the 5th century AD, the story of Avalokiteshvara, worshipped by King Jayavarman VII during his reign at the end of the 12th century, reveals that Avalokiteshvara helped the evil spirits. Only Avalokiteshvara, according to Kanrada Vyuha tradition, has the power and ability to save these evil spirits from suffering and to be reborn as human beings. This would mean that throwing bun during Pchumban is not intended to feed hungry ghosts, but rather to help the evil spirits Pride back to human form. Socrates further explained, according to the inscription number K279 about a Hindu festival in Sanskrit is called Srathya, it is a ceremony to throw bun to save the souls of the dead to be reborn as human beings. Throwing bun is not meant to be throwing food for the hungry evil spirits to fill their stomachs. Bun is made from 19 balls of sticky rice and represents the body that would allow the souls of the unrestful dead, born as evil spirits, to recapture bodies and become reborn as human beings. In Khmer tradition, many believe in the two main elements of the soul and the body. Socrates added, when a human being dies, the body is gone but the soul remains. For this reason, it is believed for the dead to be reborn as human beings, the soul and body must be reunited. That is why our Khmer ancestors celebrate by throwing bun during Pchumban. Ancient Khmer kings established a large and comprehensive number of Khmer rituals for many generations of Cambodians to follow, especially to thank and remember all those who died in the war to defend the country. Pchumban continued to grow into a major festival until it eventually became the largest national festival and tradition celebrated by Cambodians. The throwing of bun to ensure that the souls of the dead, the evil spirits Pride, can be reborn as human beings can actually be done during 4 different types of events in a year. During the Pchumban festival, during the 2 equinoxes in a year, on the longest night of the year, and on the longest day of the year. However, the tradition of throwing bun is most commonly followed during Pchumban. Dekanin, EAC News.
An analysis of Pakistan's devastating floods has found fingerprints of the human-made climate crisis on the disaster, which killed more than 1,500 people and destroyed so much land and infrastructure it has plunged the South Asian nation into crisis. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the story.
An analysis published by the World Weather Attribution Intensive last week, while unable to qualify exactly how much climate change had contributed to the floods, found that some of the models show that the climate crisis may have increased by intensity of rainfall by up to 50% when looking specifically at the 5-day downpour that hit the provinces of Sindh and Balochistan hard. The analysis also found that the floods were likely a 1 in 100-year event, meaning that there is 1% chance of similarly heavy rainfall each year. Authorities in Pakistan have warned it could take up to 6 months for the deadly floodwaters to reside in the country's hardest hit areas as fears rise over the threat of poison of waterborne diseases including cholera and dengue. Floods caused by the record monsoon rains and melting glaciers in Pakistan's northern mountain regions have so far claimed lives of more than 1,500 people and affected an estimate 33 million more, washing away homes, roads, railways, livestock and crops. Damages are now expected to total more than $30 billion, triple that an earlier estimate of around $10 billion. Pakistan's Climate Minister Sherry Rahman said on Monday that Karachi is seeing an outbreak of dengue and hundreds of thousands of patients are reported daily at the government and private hospitals. The dengue cases this year are 50% higher than last year, with 584,246 people in camps throughout the country. The health crisis could wreak havoc if we go unchecked. Pakistan is home for more glaciers than anywhere in the world outside the polar regions, and as climate warms, it is becoming more vulnerable to the sudden outbursts of melting glaciers, water, and have the power to bring widespread destruction. The country's chief meteorologist has warned that this year alone, Pakistan has seen triple the usual amounts of glacier lake outbursts, a sudden release of water that a lake-fed glacier melt that can catastrophically flooding. It is not yet clear how much Pakistan's current flooding crisis might be connected to the glacier melt, but unless planet-warming emissions are reined in, Sarfaraz suggested that the country's glaciers will continue to melt at speed. He said global warming will not stop until current greenhouse gases, and if global warming does not stop, these climate change effects will be on the rise.
Prime Minister Hun Sen departed from Cambodia on Wednesday morning to New York City to attend the 77th United Nations General Assembly. The royal government of Cambodia's special plane carrying the Prime Minister and his delegation left Phnom Penh International Airport on Wednesday morning around 8 a.m. According to a Tuesday press release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Prime Minister Hun Sen will attend the 77th UN General Assembly held under the theme, A Watershed Moment, Transformative Solutions to Interlocking Challenges, where he will deliver Cambodia's national statement. The General Assembly will be held from 21st to 23rd September 2022 in New York City. Prime Minister Hun Sen's national statement will highlight Cambodia's constructive role in supporting rule-based multilateralism, the coordinated fight against emerging global health threats, climate change, strengthening multilateral trade systems, digital policies, and the green economy, as well as Cambodia's ASEAN chairmanship and efforts to mitigate the impacts of COVID-19 in order to sustain long-term socioeconomic growth. In addition to attending the UNGA, the Prime Minister will also embark on an official visit to the Republic of Cuba and attend the national funeral of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe from 21st to 28 September 2022. The Ministry of Public Works has announced that it will launch free train rides for 4 days from 23rd to 26 September 2022. The free train rides are expected to help ease the cost of travel for all who will visit their hometowns during the upcoming Chumben Festival. Tickets for train travel will be distributed directly at the Royal Railway Station in Phnom Penh and at provincial stations 2 days before departure from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. According to the announcement, the target line will pass through Kampong Chenang, Pursat, Battambang, Takeo, Kampot, and Sihanoukville. The Ministry of Public Works and Transport has announced that the Phnom Penh-Sihanoukville Expressway will be open and be free of charge in the month of October. From November 2022 onwards, the regular charges will apply. Speaking to the media on Wednesday morning, the Minister of Public Works and Transport Senior Minister Sun Chanthol said that the Phnom Penh-Sihanoukville Expressway will be open to the public for free in the month of October, and the fee to use the expressway will only begin from 1st November 2022. He stated that due to the expressway's high construction cost and the small number of vehicles in Cambodia, the cost of using the expressway will be higher than in other countries, where such expressways typically charge around 8 cents per kilometer. The average price of the Phnom Penh-Sihanoukville Expressway will be between 10 to 12 cents per kilometer instead. He said that to maintain order on the road, he would ask Interior Minister Deputy Prime Minister Sa King to get local authorities to inform people living in the area to not remove the fences that keep cattle from freely roaming outside and potentially causing danger while crossing the road, to release a PSA that informs drivers on how to use the freeway safely, and to deploy 18 police officers to patrol the expressway 24 hours a day. For traffic safety, the senior minister said there are speeding cameras installed on the expressway, which automatically take pictures of vehicles that do not abide by the set speed limit and issue fines accordingly. Drivers using the expressway must drive within the speed limit of 120 kilometers per hour. Finally, Senior Minister Sun Chantol also urged all future users of the expressway to abide by the law and follow traffic safety precautions properly. He stated that heavy trucks must always drive on the right side of the road, must be driving at a speed of at least 60 kilometers per hour, and must carefully check the vehicles passing by before turning. The Thai Defense Minister has expressed his support and praise for the friendly relations and good cooperation between the three types of troops at all levels with Cambodia, which he said has played an important role in promoting relations between Thailand and Cambodia to become stronger and more long-lasting. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has further details.
During a meeting with the Deputy Commander-in-Chief of the Royal Cambodian Armed Forces and Commander of the Army Lieutenant General Hun Manet on Tuesday afternoon, the 20th of September, Thai Defence Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha warmly welcomed the high-level delegation of the Royal Cambodian Armed Forces and extended his greetings to the Prime Minister Hun Sen and the Cambodian Defence Minister Deputy Prime Minister Thi Ban. With regard to military cooperation between the two countries, Mr. Prayut expressed his support and appreciation for the close friendly relations and the good cooperations between the three types of troops at all levels, which has promoted the relationship between the two countries to be stronger and long-lasting. The Thai Defence Minister also congratulated Cambodia on successfully hosting the 16th Asian Defence Ministers meeting in June and reaffirmed his support for the Cambodians' ASEAN chairmanship, including the measures taken to resolve the crisis in Myanmar. He further extended his best wishes to Cambodia to continue to accomplish noble and important tasks until the end of 2022. In response, Lieutenant General Hun Manet thanked Minister Prayut for his continued support in future strengthening military cooperation between Cambodia and Thailand, as reflected in the significant achievements made by the two armies. He also gave mention to the good cooperation between the frontline units along the border, linked to the technical units and individual soldiers who help build trust and enhance closeness. In addition, he said that the mutual human resource training is not only for the present but also for the future generations. The Deputy Commander-in-Chief of the Cambodian Armed Forces also spoke about the joint efforts between Cambodia and Thailand in building and strengthening a border of friendship, peace, cooperation and development. He further affirmed that the peace, security, stability along the border are conducive to the cross-border trade, which contributes significantly to job creation and improving livelihoods of the people of both countries. He also thanked the Royal Government of Thailand, along with the people and the Army of Thailand, for providing mutual support and more cooperation with the Cambodian people living and working along the border during the COVID-19 pandemic. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
The Ministry of Labor and Vocational Training has announced that the minimum wage of workers in the textile, garment, and footwear sector will increase by $6 in 2023, equivalent to $200 per month. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more.
According to an announcement made by the National Minimum Wage Council on Wednesday, the council voted to have the minimum wage for workers in the textile, garment and footwear sectors increased to $198 effective from the 1st of January 2023. In accordance with the recommendation made to Prime Minister Hun Sen, the council then decided to increase the minimum by an additional $2 so that the monthly minimum wage for these workers will be $200 from 2023 onwards. The minimum wage for textile, garment and footwear workers in 2022 is $194 per month, hence there will be a $6 increase in minimum monthly wages next year. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
After a 22-hour flight, Prime Minister Hun Sen arrived in New York to attend the 77th United Nations General Assembly. The Prime Minister arrived in New York City at around 6 p.m. local time on Wednesday, which was around 5 a.m. on Thursday in Phnom Penh. On his way to his hotel, the Prime Minister was greeted by many Cambodians living in America. In a Facebook post made by the Prime Minister after his arrival, he shared a picture of himself with a group of people greeting him in New York and wrote the caption, "Is this not me in the image? Before coming to New York, some brainless people said that I had a stroke and was not able to go to the United States." The Prime Minister further thanked all the people who came to visit and wished them all a safe return home. According to a Tuesday, 19 September press release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Prime Minister Hun Sen will attend the 77th UNGA held under the theme A Watershed Moment, Transformative Solutions to Interlocking Challenges, where he will deliver Cambodia's national statement. The General Assembly will be held from 21st to 23rd September 2022 in New York City. Prime Minister Hun Sen's national statement will highlight Cambodia's constructive role in supporting rule-based multilateralism, the coordinated fight against emerging global health threats, climate change, strengthening multilateral trade systems, digital policies, and the green economy, as well as Cambodia's ASEAN chairmanship and efforts to mitigate the impacts of COVID-19 in order to sustain long-term socioeconomic growth. In addition to attending the UNGA, the Prime Minister will also embark on an official visit to the Republic of Cuba and attend the national funeral of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe from 21st to 28th September 2022. The second equinox of the year, the autumnal equinox, will occur tomorrow, Thursday, 22nd September. In Cambodia, during the equinox, temple-goers are in for a treat, as they can witness the heavenly sight of the sun rising directly above the central peak of Angkor Wat. Archaeologist and director of the Apsara Authority's Department of Research, Training and Dissemination, Im Sokriti, said that at 6:30 a.m. on 22nd September, the sun will rise directly atop the central peak of Angkor Wat. On a less positive note, it appears that unfavorable weather conditions this week may mean that temple-goers will not be able to see this sunrise event in clear skies like usual. The equinox signifies when day and night are approximately equal in length and takes place twice a year. The spring equinox occurred in March. In addition, this September's equinox event coincides with the time when the Khmer people are following the tradition of throwing bai bun, which are small molded balls of rice, to help evil spirits become reborn as human beings. This is following the K279 inscription from the end of the 9th century, which states that bai bun can be thrown during the night of an equinox. Bai bun is most commonly thrown during the Chumben festival. Secretary of State of the Ministry of Social Affairs, Veterans and Youth, and Secretary General of the Disability Action Council, M. Chan Makara, has urged persons with disabilities not to despair, as the royal government is taking further steps to support them. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the story.
Speaking on behalf of the Ministry of Social Affairs, Vong Sut, on International Day of the Death of the Ministry on Thursday morning, Secretary of State M. Chan Makara said that there are two categories of disabilities in Cambodia that require increased attention: intellectual disabilities and Down syndrome, along with deafness.
ហើយជាពិសេសនៅពេលដែលពួកគាត់អស់ពីអាណាព្យាបាលគាត់ទៅនោះអានេះជាបន្ទុកមួយដែលធ្ងន់ធ្ងរណាស់ជាពិសេសក្រសួងសង្គមគិច្ចរបស់យើងគឺត្រូវយកចិត្តទុកដាក់ចំពោះចំណុចនេះ
Lim Seng, a 27-year-old deaf person, spoke at an event in sign language with help of an interpreter and shared that he used to avoid people and crowds because he felt like society had abandoned him. But his feelings changed after his parents sent him to study at Krosa Tamay School, which allowed him to now find a job and work as a volunteer teacher at Chabar Ampov Special Education School. He urged the government to address the challenges deaf people face in Cambodia, including a lack of schools, jobs, overall difficulties in communication. He, however, also thanked the government for doing a lot of work to help persons with disabilities from the beginning until now. Lim Seng said through the interpreter, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports, the Ministry of Social Affairs, Veterans and Youth Rehabilitation and Disability Action Council under the Royal Government have been working hard to promote rights of persons with disabilities, especially in the sector of education for the deaf, vocational training and other fields, in order to give us the right to full freedom, equality and dignity. These factors have reduced the pre-existing discrimination against deaf people. We have sign language schools from elementary to higher education levels. We can get information through some public and private television channels, and we have the ability to work and run our own businesses and are able to compete in the free market fairly. Deputy Secretary General of the Disability Action Council, Net Un, said that the Royal Government is currently focusing on improving the quality of teachers and improving the quality of education for persons with disabilities by establishing a special education institute with the aim of training teachers on how to teach students with disabilities and develop the necessary study and teaching materials. He said the Royal Government has provided additional equipment such as reading materials in Braille for the blind and hearing aids for the deaf and hard of hearing. In addition, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports have published lessons in sign language from the 1st grade to the 7th grade and continue to prepare lessons for secondary high school and higher education students to give the persons with disabilities the able to study and research at these higher levels. Secretary General of Disability Action Council, M. Chan Makara, said that in the near future, he plans to meet with the Minister of Education to discuss increasing the number of schools for persons with disabilities in Cambodia, another aspect which stakeholders must give more attention to. He also expressed concern about the lack of teachers who can teach deaf students. Currently, Cambodia has 5 schools for the blind and deaf, 2 in Phnom Penh, 1 in Battambang, 1 in Siem Reap and 1 in Kampong Cham, with a total of 182 fixed staff and 13 contracted staff. In the 2021 and 2022 academic year, there were a total of 787 students, including 325 girls, attending these schools. Among this number, 387 are deaf or hard of hearing students. According to the 2019 census report from the Institute of Statistics of Ministry and Planning, there are 689,532 persons with disabilities in Cambodia, equivalent to 4.9% of the total population. From this number, 402,703 are women and girls. The census also reported that there are 19,993 deaf or hard of hearing people in Cambodia, equivalent to 2.9% of total population. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
Prime Minister Hun Sen has highlighted 5 important factors for the recovery of tourism in Cambodia after the situation of COVID-19 eased in 2022. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the details.
Prime Minister Hun Sen released a message on Monday, 19th of September, saying that the Celebrate World Tourism Day 2022, under the theme Rethinking Tourism, the Royal Government of Cambodia has highlighted 5 main factors, as this year is set to be the first year of tourism recovery based on vision that the future of tourism starts from today. One factor is to promote the development of tourism products and designations with quality, safety, attractiveness, and innovation. Other factors include promoting joint planning, joint use, and coherent governance based on a bottom-up approach to prioritise tourism designations by strengthening management mechanisms of tourism designations. In particular, the main priority is to promote of digitalisation in Cambodian tourism development process and strengthen reliance, stability, quality, comprehensive excellence, as well as support the building of digital social economy. In particular, the main priority is to promote the digitalisation in Cambodian tourism development process to strengthen reliance, stability, quality, and comprehensive excellence, as well as to support the building of digital social economy and an innovative economy and green economy in Cambodia. The rapid transformation of the travel and tourism industry requires tourism professionals with new knowledge and skill to enable tourism workforce to have capacity and ability to adapt new trends. Tourism cooperation with bilateral and multilateral frameworks, including tourism cooperation within the frameworks of the ASEAN, the ACMECS, the CLMV, and the Mekong Corporation, with World Tourism Organisations as many other international tourism communities, must be strengthened to support the flow of international tourism to Cambodia. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
Prime Minister Hun Sen has told the Secretary General of the United Nations that the 43-year wait for justice has finally come to an end. The justice that the Prime Minister was referring to is the completion of the trials involving the leaders of the Khmer Rouge genocidal regime by the extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia, or the Khmer Rouge Tribunal. The trials formally came to an end on Thursday, 22nd September, with the final verdict sentencing the last remaining Khmer Rouge leader to life in prison. Speaking at a meeting with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres in New York on Thursday, Prime Minister Hun Sen stated that 43 years ago, Cambodia escaped and overthrew the Khmer Rouge genocidal regime with the help of the Vietnamese army. And today, the Khmer Rouge Tribunal has finally found justice for the victims of this dark regime. The Prime Minister has been waiting for 43 years to seek justice today, said the Prime Minister's assistant Cao Kim Hoon after the meeting between the two leaders. Secretary General Guterres has hailed the success of the extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia and recognized that the liberation from the Khmer Rouge was achieved through the leadership of Prime Minister Hun Sen with the help of the Vietnamese army. Prime Minister Hun Sen has stated that justice served through the ECCC trials is to also prevent genocide from ever occurring again in the future. The Supreme Court of the Extraordinary Chambers in the Courts of Cambodia on Thursday sentenced the head of state of the Democratic Kampuchea, or the Khmer Rouge, Khieu Samphan, to life in prison under Case 002/02. He is the last surviving top Khmer Rouge leader to be tried. The Supreme Court of the Extraordinary Chambers in the Courts of Cambodia has sentenced Khieu Samphan, head of state of the Democratic Kampuchea, otherwise known as the Khmer Rouge, to life in prison in Case 002/02 on Thursday morning. Sitting in a wheelchair wearing headphones and showing little strength, Khieu Samphan was acquitted by Judge Kung Srim for crimes against humanity, grave breaches of the Geneva Conventions, and genocide, sentencing him to life in prison, which will run concurrently with the life sentence imposed in Case 002/01. The judge ordered, Khieu Samphan must remain in the custody of ECCC pending the issuance of a fully written appeal judgment and the finalization of arrangements for his transfer in accordance with the law to the prison where he will continue to serve his sentence. Following the announcement of the final judgment, the Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations Legal Affairs Office, Stephen Mathias, said that this was a great achievement for the Khmer Rouge Tribunal. He said, "The delivery of today's judgment reflects the long-standing commitment of the United Nations, the royal government of Cambodia, and the international community to guarantee justice for the Cambodian people for the heinous crimes committed during the Khmer Rouge regime." The head of the working group of the royal government in charge of the Khmer Rouge Tribunal, Permanent Deputy Prime Minister Bun Chun, also said that today marks the closing of the darkest day experienced by the Cambodian people, seeking justice and humanity for the victims. He said, "Justice delivered to the victims has contributed to the strengthening of peace, stability, and national unity, and ensures the prevention of such tragedies occurring again in Cambodia or anywhere else in the world." Khieu Samphan was the last senior Khmer Rouge leader to be convicted by the Khmer Rouge Tribunal, while other senior leaders such as Nuon Chia, Ieng Sari, and his wife Ieng Thiarat died during the trial. Born on 27 July 1931, Khieu Samphan received a bursary to study in France in 1955 and published his doctoral dissertation titled Cambodia's Economy and Industrial Development. Upon his return to Cambodia, Khieu Samphan became a professor before being appointed as the Secretary of State for Trade in Sihanouk's regime in 1962. Under threat from Sihanouk's security forces, he allegedly went into hiding in 1967 and re-emerged within the Khmer Rouge resistance in the early 1970s. In 1976, he was appointed Democratic Kampuchea's head of state. He succeeded Pol Pot after the latter retired as the official head of the Khmer Rouge in 1987 and represented Democratic Kampuchea at the 1989 International Conference on Cambodia in Paris. After pledging allegiance to the Cambodian government in 1998, he left the Khmer Rouge and lived in the northwestern province of Pailin until being arrested and placed in provisional detention at the ECCC in November 2007. The Preah Sihanouk Provincial Administration has said that rescue teams still continue to search for 23 missing Chinese nationals who were on a boat that sunk in Sihanoukville waters. According to the provincial administration, a boat sunk somewhere in the waters between Poi Sarung and Koh Tang in Sihanoukville at around 10:30 a.m. on Thursday, 22nd September. After receiving the information, the Water Border Police Department led 16 units of the Repression Unit and 2 boats to conduct a search and rescue, said the provincial administration. After questioning a man named Cheng Guisheng from Fujian province in China who was on the boat that sunk, authorities found out that there were a total of 41 Chinese nationals on the boat, including 3 women. So far, 18 have been rescued, but 23 are still missing. All 18 rescued are men and are currently being held at Battalion 240 in Korong for further questioning. Unit forces also detained 2 Cambodians riding another boat nearby and handed them over to the Police Inspectorate of Sihanoukville, Preah Sihanouk Province for questioning according to legal procedures. The search operation for the 23 missing Chinese nationals has been carried out at sea at the location of the boat sinking, as well as in the surrounding geographical area. The Preah Sihanouk Provincial Administration has also announced a 2 million real, roughly $500 reward for any rescue team or fishing boat that successfully rescues one of the missing victims. Thousands of people are departing from Phnom Penh to their hometowns this morning to reunite with their families during the Chumben Festival. Through the main thoroughfares of Phnom Penh, many cars and motorbikes continue to leave the capital city during the Chumben Festival, which will come on Saturday, 24th September. To ease the cost of travel for citizens, the royal government is providing free public transport in the form of buses and passenger trains to different provinces. Speaking to the press on Friday morning, the governor of Phnom Penh, Quong Sreng, said that many people have chosen to use the free public bus service organized by the Phnom Penh Capital Administration. He added that this is to help reduce people's spending during the festival. He said, "We know that this work is small, but it's not just a small matter, as it is related to people's daily lives and needs. During this Khmer tradition and holiday season, people need to travel from Phnom Penh to visit their hometowns and reunite with their families, to prepare food for the ceremony to remember and honor those who have passed away." In a post made on his official Facebook page on Friday morning, Prime Minister Hun Sen announced that Friday marks the first day of the free public bus service organized by Phnom Penh Capital Administration for the occasion of the Chumben Festival. He reiterated that this free public bus transport service is to help lessen the cost of travel for citizens, including government officials, the armed forces, workers, students, and all who will travel to their hometowns to reunite with their families. The Prime Minister also requested all transport companies and owners of private passenger cars to keep transportation prices unchanged during the Chumben Festival to contribute to the royal government's efforts as well as to facilitate people's livelihoods. The Phnom Penh Capital Administration has allocated 175 buses for free public transport for 5 days, from 23rd to 27th September 2022. At the same time, the Ministry of Public Works and Transport has also launched a free passenger train line for 4 days, from 23rd to 26th September. The train line will pass through the provinces of Kampong Chhnang, Pursat, Battambang, Takeo, Kampot, and Sihanoukville. The Minister of Public Works and Transport, Senior Minister Sun Chantol, led a team to inspect the technical specifications of the Phnom Penh-Sihanoukville Expressway at night to ensure all safety standards were met, such as the proper installment of reflectors and lighting on Cambodia's first expressway. Speaking to reporters on Thursday night, Senior Minister Sun Chantol said that the inspection was being conducted to make sure that the expressway is safe for drivers both in the day and at night. The senior minister said, "We inspect the road together to see if there are or aren't enough reflectors. Some people are worried that not having street lights will be dangerous, but no. If your car has the right lights and you obey the traffic rules, look at the right signs and drive at the right speed in accordance with the road design, then you will have no problem." The senior minister assessed the expressway to be reliable and of a high-quality standard. The brand-new Phnom Penh-Sihanoukville Expressway is over 190 kilometers long. The groundbreaking ceremony for the expressway was held on 22 March 2019 with an investment from the China Bridge and Road Corporation through Cambodian PPSHV Expressway Co. Limited. Constructing the expressway required a total investment spending of about $2 billion, of which $150 million was provided through grants from the Chinese government. The new expressway passes through 8.3 kilometers of Phnom Penh, 9.1 kilometers of Kandal, 80.8 kilometers of Kampong Spu, 1.92 kilometers of Kokong, and 89.89 kilometers of Sihanoukville. According to the Minister of Public Works and Transport, drivers can use the Phnom Penh-Sihanoukville Expressway free of charge for the whole month of October, and the expressway toll fee will only start being applied in November. The Chumben Festival takes place this week, with a national holiday marked from 24th to 26 September. As a result of the successful national vaccine campaign, the festival celebrations are able to go forth this year. EAC News spoke with some excited citizens in Phnom Penh about how they feel getting to finally visit pagodas and celebrate Chumben like normal. At 9 a.m. in the morning, the noise of people was constantly heard at Wat Tuol Shantiwan in Phnom Penh. Many villagers brought their families, friends, and relatives to provide food for the monks, while some sold items such as incense, candles, and lotus flowers. The monks at the pagoda were busy blessing the Buddhists who brought them food, while others continued lighting incense, praying, and counting the bowls. Buddhists, both young and old, showed their joy in being able to come to the pagoda and celebrate this traditional Khmer festival once again, especially since last year's Chumben festivities were suspended due to the COVID-19 outbreak. At that time, the royal government of Cambodia had issued a formal decision to suspend the Kanban and Chumben festivals from the day of the fourth Bun to Chumben Day in order to prevent the further spread of COVID-19 within the community. The government also ordered capital provincial governors to coordinate and ensure that food and other necessary relics would be delivered to the monks at the pagodas in their respective jurisdictions. Sitting with her back against the pagoda's pillars, wearing a navy blue skirt, an embroidered shirt, and a white scarf, 78-year-old Mom Yom smiled and said she had only excitement in being able to celebrate Chumben at the pagoda once more.
ខ្ញុំមានការយល់ឃើញថាសប្បាយរំភើបក្នុងចិត្តណាស់ចៅសប្បាយណាស់ពីឆ្នាំមុនមកកូវីដនិយាយមិនសូវបានមកវត្តទេតែឆ្នាំនេះរដ្ឋាភិបាលបើកឲ្យបានបុណ្យទាននឹងចៅមានចិត្តរំភើបយាយមានចិត្តរំភើបណាស់ចៅសប្បាយក្នុងចិត្តណាបានឃើញបងប្អូនមកវត្តសុខកកចឹងយាយសប្បាយចិត្តណាស់
At the same time, she recalled that last year, due to the crisis caused by the pandemic, she was not able to take part in any religious ceremonies and was only able to give offerings to the monks in a hurry, as visitors were unable to stay at the pagodas for long. Vuon Vitu, a 44-year-old Buddhist, also expressed his happiness in being able to honor his relatives who have passed away, especially since this year he was able to once again cook and provide food for the monks, unlike in 2021.
ការនៅទប់ស្កាត់ការជំនាន់កូវីដហ្នឹងគឺវាពិបាកសម្រាប់ពួកយើងដែរដោយសារពេលយើងត្រូវមកយើងត្រូវដាក់វេនគ្នាមានថាដាក់វេនគ្នាហើយការមកក៏អត់ហ៊ាននៅយូរហើយអត់បានជួបជុំឬការប្រគេនហ្នឹងដូចថាពិបាកសម្រាប់ពួកយើងដែរបាទ
He noticed that the pagodas, such as Wat Tuol Shantiwan, are well organized this year, with security guards posted to maintain safety in the area and good practice of safety measures implemented by the ministry, such as regular hand washing and wearing masks.
បាទសម្រាប់ការយើងមកនេះគឺខាងអ្នកចាត់ចែងខាងវត្តមានន័យថាគាត់បានរៀបចំទៅលើសន្តិសុខឬមួយក៏សម្រាប់ធ្នាប់អីផ្សេងបានល្អ
The 44-year-old said he hopes that all citizens will continue to participate in maintaining personal hygiene through compliance to the 3 do's and 3 don'ts to ensure that the Chumben celebrations and family reunions are full of joy and move away from COVID-19 altogether.
បាទមើលទៅឃើញដូចថាគាត់ការពាររៀងខ្លួននិងជួយការពាររៀងខ្លួនដែរបាទទាំងខាងវត្តខាងអ្នកដែលមកបាទ
As stated in a special voice message sent by Prime Minister Hun Sen on 12th September, the Premier called on the Ministry of Health and members of the public to continue implementing health and safety measures at pagodas and other locations that require high attention. In particular, he said people must pay attention to preventing the spread of infection from their homes to pagodas and vice versa, even if it appears that there is currently a low risk of COVID-19 in the country. The Prime Minister said he hopes that the people will understand and take care to protect themselves by continuing to implement the measures set by the Ministry of Health and to also remain well organized at pagodas. A committee member at Wat Tul Shantiwan, 79-year-old Uk Santok, said he was very happy and grateful to the royal government for allowing the celebration of Kanban and Chumben this year. However, he noted that special attention must be paid to the protection of public health, which includes the implementation of the 3 do's and 3 don'ts.
សបាយរីករាយណាស់បើនិយាយទៅថាសបាយរីករាយណាស់ចំពោះគោលការណ៍របស់រាជរដ្ឋាភិបាលដែលអនុញ្ញាតឲ្យប្រជាពុទ្ធបរិស័ទក៏ដូចជាប្រជាជនទូទាំងបរិជាណាចក្រកម្ពុជាមកអនុវត្តក៏ដូចជាចូលរួមក្នុងកម្មវិធីបុណ្យតាមវត្តនីមួយៗនៅក្នុងបរិជាណាចក្រកម្ពុជាហើយសបាយជាទីបំផុតបាទ
The Wat Tul Shantiwan committee members said that the pagoda always receives regular visitors, whether during big religious ceremonies or on one of the 4 Buddhist holy days of the month. On the other hand, he said this year's Chumben festival appears to have gathered more people than usual. Most importantly, he said that no matter how happy he is that the festivities were allowed to go forth this year, he has not forgotten the instructions set by the Ministry of Health and the head of the royal government. He recalled how difficult the organization of Chumben was in 2021 because the festival could not be celebrated regularly at pagodas and other locations due to the risk of infection.
ក៏សូមអំពាវនាវដល់បងប្អូនប្រជាជនទូទាំងបរិជាណាចក្រកម្ពុជាក៏ដូចជាឧបាសកឧបាសិកាទាំងអស់ដែលអញ្ជើញមកវត្តគ្រប់វត្តមិនចឹងណាកូនណាបាទសូមកុំប្រហែសបាទកុំប្រមាថចំពោះអាកូវីដ
Speaking at a public forum in Runta Aik village, Bante Srai district, Siem Reap province on 13th September, Prime Minister Hun Sen said that it was through the successful COVID-19 vaccination strategy implemented by the royal government that the people are able to celebrate festivals like the Khmer New Year and Chumben once more. The Chumben festival, also known as the ancestral ceremony, is a festival that dates back to ancient Khmer culture, celebrated to give merit and remember those relatives and ancestors who have died. This festival is held every day until the 15th day of the 10th month in the Khmer calendar, which takes place between September and October. Every year, Cambodians get 3 days off from work to attend Chumben festivities and prepare food to honor their relatives. Thank you for watching the Weekly Roundup here on EAC News Channel. For more breaking news and updates, you can check out our website, eacnews.asia, or search EAC News on Telegram, Smart TV, or at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team on Monday night at 8 p.m. We will see you then.